Welcome to our digital marketing program, and I'm glad you have chosen us as your training academy for learning digital marketing. All right. So, as per our curriculum, as we are, as you have seen our curriculum, the first topic of our discussion would be about the concept of introduction to web technologies. Why do we need to learn about web technologies? What is the reason behind that? Very simple. I know that we are going to become digital. You are planning to be a digital marketer, but knowing about websites, knowing about different aspects of the website designing, different aspects of how the website works, right? This will be a very big added advantage in your real-time scenario and real-time works. For that reason, I'm going to cover in around 4 to 5 sessions. In the initial sessions, we are going to discuss about how to make a website. In that process, we are going to study the concept of introduction to web technologies. So let's begin our first module. And if you are not aware about me, so these are some basic details about myself. I'm Mohammad Azruddin, and I have total 11 to 12 years of experience now, because this is almost we have increased to around 12 years of my experience. I'm certified in Google, Bing, HubSpot, and many other certifications, as well as I've trained more than 5,500 plus students as well. So this is a brief overview, and most of you already know about me, but for who are directly coming into the session, for them it's just an introduction. And also we run a separate company apart from our training academy. It is called as itinfodigital.com, where we offer services for any kind of web designing or digital marketing services or SEO services or anything related to marketing. Our agency also offers the digital services. So that is a brief overview about myself. So now let's move into the subject. So what is our today's agenda? What I'm going to discuss in our this session. So basically my idea is to break this session into different topics. Number one, I'm going to explain you about types of websites. What are the different types of websites we have in the real time, and what are those website types? Static, dynamic, and CMS. What are those? And with examples we'll see. And next we will understand what are the requirements of building a website. Then we will see what is a domain name, what are the different features of a domain name, and then at the end of this session you will be able to book a live domain name. So I'm going to show you that process also, how to register and how to buy a domain name as well. We are going to discuss about that concept by the end of this discussion. So let's start with the concept of what is a website. Now generally, see, if you consider, sir, what is a website in general means any particular page which is created on World Wide Web, which is consisting of text or video or image or any kind of information which is on the World Wide Web and written using HTML and CSS is generally called as a website. So in other words, see, as a general definition, we can say this way also: a website is nothing but basic information which consists of about any company or any shopping website or any particular website which is written in HTML and CSS is called as a website. Now many students will get confused and they ask, so then what is a blog? What is the difference between a website and a blog? Okay, a blog is also a website, because everything which you see online, everything is a website only. But what is the difference between a blog and a website? Means a blog will follow a particular format. That format of website, if we see, then we say that this is a blog website. If a website follow a particular format like products and buy option and order online and all that, then we say this is also a website, but this is an e-commerce website. So like this, there are categories of website, but generally everything comes under the category of website only. As we discuss further, you will understand what is the difference between e-commerce website, what is the difference between blog also. We'll understand it in more detail. So let's go to the option of how many types of website do we have. See, basically we have three types of website. Number one, static website. Number two, dynamic website. And number three, it is content management system, or also in short called as CMS. Now, in simple terms, if you just consider this way, like for example, you are buying a car. Now in that car you will be having different models and different variants. For example, basic model, standard model, and then it will be a premium level model which almost all the facilities and all the advanced features. Similarly, in websites also we have three main categories: static, dynamic, and CMS. And one more important thing you have to remember here is that A dynamic, this particular website which we are talking about, that is the website which I was talking about here, right? The dynamic and content. So just remember this point. CMS is also a dynamic website only, but it has limited features. More about this I'm going to discuss further in our topic. So now let's start with the first concept of what is a static website. See, the basic idea of a static website. First, a static website consists of limited number of pages and content. All right, it may have text, it may have photo, or it may have a video. But here the important point about a static website is it consists of limited number of pages, maybe 5, maybe 6, maybe 10, maybe 20, but you say there are limited number of pages. So we can say yes, this is a static website. And how do we develop a static website? Okay, a static website is developed using HTML, CSS, JavaScript. These are all basic technologies of any website: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And one of the important property of the static website is content is not changed regularly. You know what? Generally, if you go through any static website, the content will be changed after a long period of time, or if at all, they will not be changed also. Let me show you a small example of this process so you get the clarity of the subject. So I'm going to open one website of one of our client only. So you get the idea that what is static and what is dynamic. So get software services.ca. This is one of our client website. Now, if you look at this website, it has home, videos, courses, and also some sub options about us, students, contact us, and some faculty certification and other data is just moving, scrolling, right? You see, this is a website. And if you ask me, when did we last design this website, or when did we last updated this website? Because it is static, if you look at here closely, you will find it was last updated or touched in year 2013. So from the time of 2013 to till date, we haven't touched anything on this website, which is a very big amount of time. Now, why we haven't touched? This is actually an alternative website of our client. For that reason, the main website is updated regularly, but this website is an alternative website. For that reason, it is been as it is from almost, we can say, around 5+ years we have been left out as it is. So this is an example of static website. And how we develop this? Completely using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So if you see here, all this coding and all you see, we don't need to learn that, don't worry. But all this content, all this coding and all this is written manually by our designer, and then we will be getting that exact project and exact output. So this type of websites are called as static website. And one more property I will tell you about static, that whenever you see the URL, most of the static website will end with .html. Most of the time you will come across this process that they are ending with .html option. So this is a basic way to understand the static. Now, what are the advantages and what are the disadvantages? So one of the biggest disadvantage of using the static website is that it will be very difficult for you to maintain the website in long-term perspective. In the sense, you started the project today, but after 10 days, after 15 days, the client want to update the website. You cannot do it easily. The client cannot do it himself. He has to contact a designer. Again, you will charge some extra amount for that work, and then only the project will be updated, or the page will be updated, which means the client is also dependent on us to do any of the updates. So that is one of the biggest drawback of the static website. Also, there is a small positive about static website is comparative to WordPress, comparative to dynamic, static websites are cheaper to make. You will be charged less amount compared to dynamic because they have very less complexity and very less complex features. For that reason, they can be done at a relatively lower cost than dynamic website. So that is called as a static website. So now let's move on to the next property, next type of website we have, dynamic website. So what is a dynamic website consist of? See, basically a dynamic website is created with programming, not with HTML only, but with programming. It can be Java, it can be .NET, it can be PHP, it can be any programming. So a website created using programming and database with a business logic. So this is important point. Every dynamic website will have a business logic, have a process, a procedure. So that would be exactly followed by the followed by any of the professional, and then the entire application will be developed in that process. Now the next point we have is dynamic site changes based on different factors. Now you may have seen so many job sites. You select the location and you type in there digital marketing and click search. Whatever you get is changed according to your query, right? Which means a dynamic website is never going to be consistent. It's keep changing as per the period of time, as per the location, and many more factors. So that is where, and it is developed using PHP MySQL. This is one programming language, or ASP.NET. This is one programming language, or even we can create a dynamic website using Java server pages. This is also possible to be developed. Now, one example of dynamic website, as we were discussing about doctor, think about this. If I'm working for a doctor point of view, then Apollo Hospitals is a dynamic website. I have given you an example of a Get Software Service as example, but assume you got a basic, you got a doctor who has a basic requirement. For him, static website is enough. But if you want to really develop a complex project for this hospital, so if you see Apollo Hospital, so then you will understand that this is absolutely dynamic website. Now I'll open the site, and now you will see so much of content would be there. Now this is patient care segment, and look at how many options are coming up there. And center of excellence, for each concept there will be lot of sub options. Apart from it, now just this is not everything. Now apart from it, see, I would search for some specific keyword here and see what happens. Locate a hospital, just click on it and you get a form, right? See this. They are all over India. Now let's take any specific location, Hyderabad. Again, it will get updated. See, now this is Hyderabad. Now you want to book an appointment. So let's see, click book an appointment. Now see, it's moving to askapollo.com, one of their own website, / Hyderabad. And now look at this. Select your city. Yeah, already Hyderabad is selected. And all the doctors without any specification, they are shown. But now if you want to add your specialization, you can able to add that option as well. This is more complicated. All right, now let's see, I'm selecting city Hyderabad, and specialty I'm selecting cardiologist and search. Now you see I'm getting a list of data which is actually not static, it's dynamic, it's keep changing. Yeah, so now we got this. Now change back and now select Artho and click search. Now the data will change again. See that? So this is actually a completely different information. For each doctor, we are getting a different data. So this is nothing but a completely dynamic website developed using automation, using some advanced programming language, like, and also database and much more complicated things in the backend. So this is an example of a very absolutely dynamic website which is completely maintained by a very big team in the backend who will take care of each and every option in this particular project. So it's not static, it's purely dynamic project. All right, so now this is how we can able to find out the difference. Like a static website generally has limited pages, and dynamic website has extremely huge number of content and huge number of pages. And one more important thing, generally dynamic website will have this type of options, search boxes, it will have sign up option also, it will have, like, see, I'll try to find out any sign up option. Okay, it may not have a sign up, but most of the dynamic website you will notice they will have a sign up option also. This is called as your the second concept, which is nothing but dynamic website. Now coming to the third concept. Now, is it expensive? Yes, they are very expensive because that are developed from scratch, step by step, which will be very expensive. Developers will be, very expensive to will be costing a lot of money for the company. So development side and dynamic side will be very expensive. It can be, in some thousands of rupees to even worth lakhs and crores of rupees. Okay, so you can start with some few $1,000s and it can go up to some lakhs of dollars also, depending on how complicated is the application and how many members are required for that, how many days you want to complete the application. Lot of complexity things will be there in a dynamic website. So now moving to the concept of content management system. This is the third type of website which we are discussing. So now what is a CMS? See here. A CMS is a ready-made application to create website without any coding. Now I want to tell you a great thing about CMS. When we are working on a CMS, all we are doing is it's a dynamic website, but it is ready-made. I don't need to do anything at all. So think about it this way. What is a CMS? If you consider a CMS as a strategic point of view, see, it has both static features, it has all similar pages and limited, it has manually you can create pages, and also you can make it completely dynamic, like search box you can add into it, you can add sign up, you can add logout and all. In simple terms, right now you are watching this video, you are right now in a CMS and we are using WordPress CMS, and you see you had a option of sign up, and also you have an option of login, and then also there are some restrictions in our application where you once you log in then only you can watch our videos, right? Now another option we have in this is if from multiple systems you try to access, another account will be automatically logged out. So like this, certain features are implemented so that we can able to have those dynamic options. At the same time, some pages of our website are also static. So a good example is our web trainings. The one which you are watching this video is a perfect example of a CMS because we did this in WordPress itself. So now moving on to which CMS are the most popular, which has the most market and most popular is number one, WordPress, and two, Joomla, and three, Drupal. So these are the most popular CMS. So I would say in our program we are going to start with our concept of WordPress. Now we are not going to discuss this because they are not in our curriculum as well, but they are also like CMS like WordPress, but you have to spend some time if you want to learn those CMS. But generally for digital marketing, you don't need to be a web developer or web designer. Just WordPress we are learning for the basic understanding purpose. So if you know and understand the fundamentals of WordPress and you can able to do website in WordPress, it would be more than enough for you to work out. Okay, now let's move on to the example of WordPress. So here you see we have created this website. This is one of our client website. Now this website is actually static plus dynamic, which is a CMS. In the sense, it doesn't have very advanced features like Apollo Hospital, and also it is not as basic as the one I have shown you. So it will be in the middle. It is not too basic, it is not too advanced, it is in the middle, where we can say content management system, a CMS, is the best example for you to create the site. So now as per the market is concerned, most of the website today, they are developed with CMS. Why? Because client will ask, see, the client will ask us, even as we are doing projects, see, I want a website where I can change content whenever I want. I should not depend on you. I said, okay, sir, fine. Then he will also say, I don't want to pay a lot of money, which means you don't want a dynamic website. We said, understood, sir, we can do that. So there what we do is we use a ready-made CMS with all the features inbuilt in it, but design and all we have to do. But all the features are inbuilt, we can easily able to do the project with less budget and as quick as possible. For that reason, most of the web development companies today, they prefer only using the CMS, so that even in SEO point of view, even in marketing point of view, even in management point of view, it will be far more easier to work in the CMS system. So this is the reason why we are using a CMS concept. So I hope you understood it very clearly. So what are the types of websites we have? Let's summarize. Number one, static website, which has limited number of pages, all right, where we have to write the coding manually. Number two, dynamic website, which are very complicated websites, which have a lot of advanced features, a lot of complicated features like buying option. They may also have registration, login, and many more options. And third option is CMS. So I would say CMS is neither too difficult or neither too easy. It is in the middle where we can able to get our work done. And biggest advantage of a CMS is without writing a single line of code, we can able to do our project and website. So as a general example I will give you, then you will understand what I'm talking about in static and dynamic point of view. See, a static website is, suppose for example you want to make coffee for yourself. You want to make a coffee for yourself, so you need milk, you require some powder, you require sugar, all these things you have to maintain, right? So if you're making it in Indian context, all right, so you need to have all this stuff and you need to actually boil the milk and all this stuff, and you have to do it yourself. Obviously it's very old school process, and it takes a lot of time and effort from your end. That's it, simple. So in that situation, you are spending time, you are doing effort, and then you get a coffee as per your requirement, but basic only for 1 or 2 persons. That is static. Now, what is a dynamic is, now think about a dynamic website like a chain, like a Starbucks. If you take, for example, if you consider that chain, or like take a cafe coffee day, if you take them, you see that they are also making coffee. But remember that, you see the process they do and the process they follow in so many chains, and the quality they maintain will be very complicated. It's not a one person, they are serving some hundreds and thousands of people every day. So we can say that is very dynamic or very complicated. So that is one option. And now when you come to CMS, very simple. Let's see, in our office we have a coffee machine. That is CMS, where we are not serving one person. At the same time, we are not having very complexity options. Just you press the button, I got the coffee. But maybe taste is not as good as what we generally have. But end of the day, I have a basic coffee with me. So that way, a CMS is like a coffee machine, where I don't need to bother about the types of coffees. I don't need to bother about a lot of different options. All I need to understand is press the button and we get the result. So that is what a CMS is going to do for us. So for that reason, we are going to focus our program, because you are not a technical person or web designer or developer. So I have to teach it in a way that I will consider that you don't know anything in general. If you know this, that's a great thing. But because I have so many students from marketing background, I have so many students from different parts of industries, where they don't have any idea about website, no idea about technical. So for that reason, we will consider that we will be going with the concept of WordPress only, so that without any coding, every one of us can able to do a project ourselves. Now let's move on to the next module of our discussion: components of a website. So sir, I understood static, dynamic, WordPress. I am excited, I want to make a project. Great. But sir, what do I need first? If I want to make a website in WordPress, I want a website in static, I want to make a website in dynamic, sir, what do I need? Minimum requirements are there. Yes, the minimum requirements are called as components of a website. So what do we need for the components? Minimum requirement of the components of a website are: number one, okay, first I need a domain name. Without a domain name, you can't make a website. If your friend asks you, okay, you created a website, great, what is your website name? So you have to tell him www.abc.com, right? Something. So that is the name of the website. Without that, we cannot make a project. So that is the first requirement. Number two is hosting server, where you are going to host your project, where you are going to learn, where you are going to store all your data, all your emails, all your files, photos, everything. That is a hosting server of the project. We are going to discuss more about that. And number three is, we need to develop the pages. We need to develop the content, whatever you want to display in the for the user. Suppose you want to display the gallery, so you have to make a gallery page. You want to display about us, you have to make about us page. So pages are also required. So here we are going to discuss right now about the concept of domain name, how to register. And as I said in the first session, we will only discuss up to the domain name and its registration process. And after that, we are going to discuss in the next session about hosting server. So now let's stick to the first module of our discussion: domain name. So what is a domain name, and how important is a domain name in the real-time scenario? See, the basic point is, domain name is nothing but the identity or address of your business. Without an identity, how will you exist in the market? You can't, right? So here we have a domain name. So I'm actually going to show you one structure. This is actually called as a fully qualified domain name. Generally, google.com is also domain name. Yes, no doubt about it. Now, you call someone, let's say if you open the password of the person, let's say you take my own name. What is my full name? So I will say, for example, my full name is Muhammad Azruddin so and so, right? A complete name. Or if, for example, if I ask one of my student, what is your full name? So he says, my full name is, like say their house name, some XYZ, then Kiran Kumar, meaning they are giving the entire name structure, right? So if someone asks, what is your domain name? So we can just say google.com, or I can say webtrainings.in. Yes. But actually in terms of registration process, domain name will be little bit more elaborated, and you have to know each part of it because it's very important for us in marketing perspective. So a domain name consists of four components. So you see the green one, then we have a blue segment, then you have a red segment, and then you have a orange segment. So what are each of these elements are called and why they are useful and what we can do with those each of this option. The first element of a domain name is called as protocol. All right, and full form of this HTTP is Hyper Text Transfer Protocol, HTTP, Hyper Text Transfer Protocol. Simple. Sir, what it does, what is the use of this protocol, sir? Okay, generally the purpose of the protocol is to send and receive the data from one computer to the server. Suppose I'm opening www.google.com, it will connect to the server and then it will take the data and give it back to the, this communication is happening with the protocol called as HTTP. Now the new version we have got here is now HTTP is the oldest version. When the internet was created, HTTP was created. What is the problem with HTTP is if I have HTTP today, then I would be in a big trouble. So what is the trouble is, see, for example, I will open one website here, just a website without the feature of HTTP I will show you. So let's take this is a website. All right. Now see, this website is not HTTPS. Now you may say, sir, what's the problem? The biggest problem here is, you see, clearly Chrome is highlighting this website is not using HTTPS. This is only using HTTP. And it is displaying this message not secure. Correct? Many users won't even browse. If they see not secure, they will be like, oh, very dangerous. I should be very careful about it. Correct? So this is one example I'm giving you. So any website which is not having HTTPS, it is now displayed with the word HTTP as a not secure in Chrome. And one more point I want to highlight here, one more important point is this. Nowadays, according to Google Update, website which are HTTPS has a better chance and a better probability of ranking compared to HTTP version. Meaning, if you want to rank better as a digital marketing professional, then implement HTTPS. Example, now see, this is very big brand, as we know. This Apollo Hospitals is very big brand. They have so much of data. People will enter booking data, a lot of information which has to be secured. So they will be using the concept of HTTPS. So that's one of the authenticity or one of the security which is provided by the website. That's why even if you type HTTPS or if you type web trainings also, then you will immediately see that our website is immediately transferred to HTTPS version. You see that? Simple. Which means all the data which you are submitting in our program in via contact or via inquiry or you're doing registration, this data cannot be stolen in the middle of the process. Whenever the data is being transferred, all is going to be secured while the data is being processed. For that reason, we require the HTTPS version. All right. So this is the option which we have to remember, that we need any website you are planning to work with, you must definitely have that as HTTPS version. How do we get HTTPS? I'm going to show you that in a while now. When I do the live registration of any website, there I will show you that HTTPS is registered with the particular process. I'm going to explain you that as well. Number two, next option is www, which is also called as alias, meaning it is optional. Even I can use the www or I can remove the www. Simple. It's up to my choice. Example, if you open a website like Twitter, there is no www. If you open my website, there will be www. So which means www is purely optional. It can be there or it cannot be there. Or they can be replaced with other word also, www3, www5. Some companies who have many servers, they use this type of name changing structure also. So we can use either protocol. Protocol is compulsory, HTTPS, but alias is purely optional. Next, and now coming to the concept of domain name. Simple. Suppose I have shown you a website of one of the doctor, right? See, apollohospitals.com. Apollo is a brand, hospitals is the, actually Apollo Hospitals itself is a brand name. So apollohospitals.com, as simple as possible. right? So domain name can be booked in two ways. Either you can book with the name, with your company name, or either you can book with your keyword. Now, why do we book with the keyword? I'm going to explain you in a more detail about that as we go into the next topic of our discussion. But as of now, just remember, domain name is keyword or brand name. All right. And last option of our module is our .com. So what is this called as? Is extension. Example, if I say my friend name is Kiran Kumar, so you say, okay, Kumar is his last name, so he belongs to so and so segment. If I say my friend name is Kiran Reddy, so you say, okay, Reddy is so and so option. In simple terms, what we are defining here is .com is an extension. Similarly, as every general person will have an extension. Similarly, this extension is defined to classify one domain name from another domain name. Example, if I say, what is your website? So you say, if I ask you what is your website, you say my website is webtrainings.edu. So you can immediately say, yeah, this is an education domain. If I say, what is your domain name? Webtrainings.in. So you can understand, yeah, it's an Indian website. Like this, the extension will define what is your business or what is your topic. Now I'm going to discuss more about that concept, how it works, what are the options. I'm going to discuss more. But before that, I want to explain you one very, very important concept here of domain name. See, as I told you, as I have just now told you about the concept of domain registration process. I hope you have remembered the point, very simple point I have told you. So domain name, as I told you, can be registered with keyword, or I have said with the brand name, correct? With brand name. So now if you ask me, sir, when and what situation are we going to use this concept, sir? When do we want to register with a brand name, or when do we want to register with a keyword? What is the concept? What is the strategy and criteria? Okay, let me explain you the concept. Generally, if you have not registered a domain name, all right, if you are having a plan of business and all, so I would suggest you don't register a domain name yet. Okay, wait. Why? Because when you are registering a domain name, you have certain objectives. For example, one of my friend came to me and he said, see, I want to rank for a particular keyword. Can you suggest me a domain name? Suppose he said, I want to sell projectors. I want to sell projectors. Sir, can you tell me a good domain name so that I can get ranked fast and quick for this projectors keyword? So I said, see, if you are looking only for rank, I will tell you a very easy method. Very easy method. Easy method is projectorsonline.com. Example, or projectorsonlinehyderabad.com, something like that. Now, what we are doing in this keyword domain name is, in keyword based domain, we don't even value the brand. We don't care about the brand name. We are looking for the keyword, and that keyword is what we want to rank for. So in some cases, like if you're doing website for affiliate marketing, if you're doing website for only for a purpose of SEO, only for the purpose of getting business, in that case, we will use the keyword of this type of option like Projectors Online Hyderabad or projectorsonline.com or anything like that. I hope you understood. So if you're planning to make a short-term strategy and short-term gain, then go with the keyword directly. But if you say, sir, no, our requirement is a long-term, sir. In long-term, I want to show our company as a big brand, and we want to develop our, brand and business and all that. In that case, I would say, okay, then it is not recommended to go with that option. So maybe say I have some XYZ brand, technovision.com, something I'm taking of my own mindset. So technovision.com is my brand. It doesn't say anything about it's a projector or something. And one more good thing about brand name is this: whenever we register with a brand name, all right, in future we can shift to any business we want. And a very good example of that is amazon.com. Now Amazon itself is a brand name, right? Now when Amazon started their business, they were not really an e-commerce website for everything A to Z. No, when they started the business, the actual business was only selling books, only selling books. So imagine if the Amazon founder, he was actually he was looking for short-term benefit or short-term goal. He may have booked a domain name in keyword, for example, booksonline.com, because at that time this was easily available. But no, he didn't book booksonline.com because his vision was also long term. So what he booked here, Amazon. So today Amazon sell everything under the name of A to Z. Whatever is there between A to Z, any product we can name, most of the products will be available on Amazon.com, which are legal, that will be available on Amazon.com. So I hope you understood the point. So think about it. Don't try for a short-term strategy in digital marketing. Look for a long-term aspect. Okay. So some places are there where you may want to look for short-term. I'll give you a good example. Some website owners create website for short-term AdSense income, which is to make money online. So what they do is there is a movie, for example, there is a new movie, say Superman, some Superman movie reviews, reviewonline.com. Yeah, some people create a website like this which is actually only for Superman movie, and when the time of that release happens of the Superman, I don't know whether the movie is there or not, I'm just giving you an idea, there is a release of this movie. So what this people will do, they will register this domain only for the movie, and once the movie started and once the people started seeing the website, they will make money with ads. And after maybe 5 months or maybe 1 month or 2 months, people don't read reviews about it. After that, they will just shut down the website. That's it. So it is actually a short-term goal. So this is also possible. So you can use a domain name with keyword also. But when you are planning for AdSense business, now at the end of our program, we will discuss about AdSense affiliate marketing. Then you get the clarity of what is this concept. But as of now, focus on brand, where we will focus on buying a domain name based on the name of your company, what you have registered. If I have registered my company as Star Digital, so I would have been registered my domain name as stardigital.com. I would have been not taken any keyword or anything, but I have taken my domain name in long back as a web trainings itself as my brand name. So for that reason, our domain is what? Webtrainings.in is our brand now. So that is how we can able to work. And I will suggest you one more interesting concept. So if you get confusion and you say, sir, how do I get domain names, sir? I'm unable to get domain names and name for my business, etc. So here I would be suggesting you a very nice website. So you can use Shopify business name generator website to get lot of good quality domain name suggestions. So just go ahead and type Shopify. I think already I used to save in bookmarks, it's not available. That's fine, no problem. Just go to business name generator and type the query you want. There are so many queries. So assume that you want something related to digital marketing. Type digital and click enter. And now you see all the names: Digital Rex, Rockland Digital, Topline Digital, After Hours Digital, Voice Digital, Digital Hype, Pick Digital, Digital Like, so many, Digital Spark, Digital Avatar. These are all the names created by your Shopify. Maybe other people may also have taken something like that, but you will always get some new names over here. Like, see, we have got here Ethos Digital, Digital Forward, Oasis Digital. Yeah, there are so many nice names. Digital Nation. You see, that way we can able to now register a domain name which is based on a brand name. Like, see, this one is very nice, Zen Digital. Now we also need to find out whether that is available or not available. Now how do we check? That is our next stage of discussion. So I hope you understood the concept of how do we register the domain name based on the keyword or the brand name. Now moving on to the very, very important concept of extension. So remember one thing, extension is very, very important. As I said, see, if you just consider, it's true, actually, it's true. Extension can have a very big, make a very big difference. Example, if you take George W. Bush, as extension is, Bush, right? So George W. Bush, right? So that name, that's a family tree of Bush, will have a lot of impact on whatever they do, right? That has an impact. Likewise, you take, there are so many, other people with their family name in the background, right? So that will have a very big impact in the any of the undertakings they do, right? So now, as a general view, name of the person will have a big impact. From which family background is coming, based on that his last name there will be lot of impact, correct? In the same way, this domain will also have a lot of impact in our SEO concept. Now, how it can have impact on SEO concept? So here is the point. With .com, generally it's not about .com now. Just remember, it's not .com. What exactly is the process here is domains are divided into two categories. Domains are divided into two categories. One is called as location extension. Sorry, this is domain extensions. One is called as location extension, and one is called as business extension. What is the difference? Very simple. Any domain which you have purchased which ends with the country name like .in, .co.in, .co.uk, .us, .japan, like .com.sa, Saudi Arabia, .com.au, Australia, .ca, Canada. Like this, all this country extension has one thing in common. That is, if you are planning to start your business in Canada and your initial goal is only Canada, then I would personally suggest you book a .ca domain, because you can rank very well, you can rank very fast in Canada, because .ca domain will have a positive impact in the ranking in Canada. Whereas a .com may have a general, but CA will be more valuable in Canada. Now, when you go with the extension, see again, extension are also a lot of there. For example, .com, .org, .biz, .tv, .aero, airports, only airports will get that .aero, then .military, for military base only they will get that, then .gov, only for government, and .edu. So just remember these points. These names, some of these names may not be available for everyone. They are registered only for authorized people only, or authorized companies only. For that reason, you have to consider this. We cannot book, but generally .com, .org, etc. lot of domain names available. We can able to buy them. All right. So this is the basic difference between both. So either it is .com, either it is .com, .co. Even .co is the latest version. .co, .org, .biz, .in. All are actually same websites, but difference is as you change the extension, the website will change immediately, and also the ranking potential will also change. In India, .in will rank better than other versions. In Canada, .ca will rank better than other versions. For that reason also, some companies prefer to use a country level extension for each country if it is a multinational company. But if they are looking for global, then they will use .com or .org in general. So this is the idea of our domain name. I hope you are very clear about what is the name, what is the extension, what is protocol, what is alias, what is keyword, and what is extension. And finally, we are moving into the practical of how to register the domain name, where to register the domain name. So very simple, just go to any registration company website. Registration companies are so many. Okay, if you take for example top registrars in world, just type this keyword, then you get a list of top companies who can help you to register your domain name. So many websites. So now here are the top 5: domain.com and Bluehost, HostGator, Namecheap, Hover. They will write a lot of, okay, but just fine. I don't want to really care about it. I just want to take the best domain name. According to me, I have seen the best domain provider according to me is bigrock.in if you are in India, .com if you are global. And also there are respective, see, certain domain names we can buy only from respective country only. Example, if you want a .au domain, so there are some Australian registration companies, only there you can book. If you want a .ca, some CA we can book from GoDaddy, BigRock also, not a problem. Whereas for example, if you take .com.sa, Saudi Arabia, specifically only in the companies who are operating in Saudi Arabia can only give you the .sa domain, not any other company. So like this, country-wise extension requires some additional proof and additional proof of your location also. But other domain names we can buy from anywhere. So I want to buy a domain name. So simple, just type in your name. So I want to buy a domain name on my name, MD Azruddin. And you see here, these are extension .net, .in, .online is also new version, .news, .store, .co, .tech, .biz. These are all extensions, and these are all Indian extensions. See .in and all that. Okay, let's click OK. So here it will try to scan the entire database and give us the data. mdazruddin.com is available. So you want to buy for 2 years? No, I don't want to buy for 2 years. Minimum registration period is 1 year. All right. mdazruddin.net is available. .in is available. Almost everything is available. Correct? But now I want a domain name with the word friends. All right. Not available. It will be almost blocked by all the providers, meaning everyone would have been bought the domain name. Very rarely you will find it. Why? Because it's such a simple name that everyone is ready to use that name. So there is no lot of competition because these names are already taken by lot of companies and lot of individuals as well. And see, there are different prices here, right? So depending on what you buy, you have to choose your price as well. So now let's see. I want to buy a domain name. What is the process? I will not buy it. I'm just showing you the procedure. What happened? Yeah, that's it. So I want to buy this. I don't want all this stuff, so just cancel it and click checkout. And I don't want all this also, instant online, all this are just useless products just to make money. Just skip all of them and here select only 1 year. And this is strange. For 1 year, 749. For 2 years, okay. Now protect my contact information is there. See, this is additional. What is the price they are charging for this? 499, which is useless. Don't pay that also. So I would say please go through the checkout process very carefully. Make sure here you are selected 1 year. Make sure all the additional useless things are not available. And if you are buying from India, then you will have a GST also on it. The 135, so total 884. All right. If you want to avoid this tax in case in that option, what other option is there? You can buy in dollars. You can directly buy from any foreign company in dollars. There, the tax is not going to be applied. That is the option. Some companies use that option, but generally I buy from .in, so we pay that extra tax also with the domain. You can also use some coupons. So if you just go ahead and say Big Rock coupons, so you get a good discount actually. Yeah, offer, this is different. Yeah, Big Rock at, okay, .in sale, Big Rock coupons. So Big Rock themselves are offering special offer, include add-on worth. Okay, let's try. .com for 399. Great. So I want this one, man. What do you say? mds.com. Let's see. They will provide it for, okay, get me online is the offer code. Great. All right, great, perfect. See, subtotal just 399, tax is 72. Great. 471 is our cost. Superb. Let's see, can we buy for 2 years? Yeah, superb. So just by paying extra few amount, we can able to definitely get the price for such a low price. This is a discount code. Get me online. Superb. And then you can just go ahead and say loading. Yep. Now here you have to fill in this form properly with all your details, and then you can just say create account. All right. Now I want to tell you one important thing. All this information which you are submitting here is public. Anyone in the world can see that you are the owner of so and so domain name. If they search for the domain name using using a website, they can find who is the owner of the domain. If you want to don't reveal your actual details, email address must be correct and it must be your own, but name and all that you can give anything, not a problem. To just conceal your identity. If you don't want to do that, then you have to pay 500 rupees extra to hide your identity from anyone. So here is the website to know that, who.is, to know the identity. I'll come to this point in a while. So I hope you understood the process. First, I'm going to select my name. Then I'm going to select what extension I want. And then depending on the provider, I can get a nice and cool discount where I have to fill in this details. So all the details which I fill in are available for public. Anyone can see that. Anyone can see that. If I want to block all this information, In that situation, what I have to do is I have to, so here is a Whois server. Now, if you just see this example, you will understand. It will reveal all the details of the ownership because Whois server has all the information. So let's see the data. It should show not available. Okay, maybe the tool is not working. Okay, I'm trying with another provider, tools.whois.domaintools.com. I want to know ownership of web trainings on whose email ID it is and who is when it was registered and all. Okay, so it is also not giving complete data, but let's see. Hopefully, it gives some data minimum. Yeah, see this. So this is owned by our company, IT Info. Yeah, all these details I have not given, and it will have actually the email ID for sure. Okay, it's not actually given here, not clearly mentioned, but only this information has been displayed. But that is fine. That is fine. So that is how the Whois information is there. So what the company was doing, this BigRock was asking you, you want to pay 500 rupees to reveal the data, hide the data. So don't pay 500 rupees extra per year. Just use some email must be correct. Remaining name you can use. For example, my name is Mohammad Azruddin. I can use Mohammad Ahmad. Anything I can use. No problem. No one is going to ask me. So Mohammad Ahmad. Phone number also gives something. Address also gives something different. Like this, you can conceal your identity. You don't need to really expose. And also for email, you have to use another dummy email. Then it will work perfectly for your business. So this is how we can able to avoid extra payment for this Whois server. So all I have to do now is fill this form and do the checkout, or I will sign in here. Already have an account, so I can sign in and do the checkout and make the payment, and then I will become the owner of a registered domain name. So whatever may be the domain name, but I will be able to have the domain name with me. That is the process of getting a particular domain name in a simple way. So let's try to take a domain name. I don't know whether it's available or not. Only .com they have a discount, not others. Okay, internationalschools.in is available. Internationalschools.hyd.com is available. Let's try. Let me remove this. Okay. Why the price is 7? All right, great. So domain name is internationalschools.hyd.com. Right, I'm just booking a dummy domain name. .NET I don't want anyway, so check out. So sign in here and log in. That's great. Okay, this offer is only available for first purchase on BigRock. You can still buy your domain name at a regular price on BigRock. Okay, so that offer is for a new account. No problem. I'll create an account on my brother name or maybe someone else's name, and that I can use for as a test purpose. All right. So that is how we can able to do the registration process in real time scenario. I hope you are very much clear about the process of how to register a domain name. So let's try. Fine. I hope you got it. Just I have to make a payment and I will be the owner of this domain name. So I'm going to do this. I have to create a new account. It will take further 5-10 minutes of time. I will do it separately. But I hope you are clear with the concept of how to do the registration. In our next session, we will be discussing more about the concept of hosting. Let us summarize the whole topic today. Number one, we discuss about types of websites. So we have three types of websites: static, dynamic, and WordPress. And we are going to use only WordPress websites. Next, we learn about what is required to make a website. So we discuss we need a domain name, we need a hosting, and we need a pages. So now we also discuss about domain name, what is the domain name, how it looks like, and what is the process of domain name. All right, and then we discuss there are four parts of a domain name: HTTP, then we have triple W, then we have name, then we have extension. And as I said, based on extension, price will vary. Next, we have discussed about how to register the domain name. And in our next further topic, I'm going to discuss about web hosting. In that particular topic also, I'm going to cover the concept of what is HTTPS and how do we get the HTTPS version along with our hosting, because HTTPS will be added with our hosting account. Generally, it is added with our hosting account. All right. I hope you understood this concept. And one more new thing some of the companies are doing is, if you buy domain and hosting from same company, they are giving you 1 year SSL certificate, that is HTTPS version, also for free of cost. About that also, I'm going to discuss in the next class. I hope you are clearly understood the concept, and if you are planning for registration of a domain, so this is how the process will be implemented. Thank you very much.